All right, hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of RevOps Demos That Don't Suck. My name is Matthew Valm. I'm the CEO and co-founder of RevOps Co-op, a community for folks who are passionate about revenue operations. We have 8,000 plus members from 44 different countries from all around the globe who are all passionate about revenue operations. And in this series of RevOps Demos That Don't Suck, we take product demos with some of the best and leading companies that are out there building solutions for RevOps professionals so that you don't have to. And today we are sitting down with one of our partners, Subskribe, and specifically I'm talking to Prakash Raina, who is the co-founder of Subskribe. And Subskribe is the adaptive CPQ billing and revenue platform for modern SaaS companies, but I'm not even going to go on and kind of tell you more about the solution or Prakash or the company, because we've obviously got the co-founder here who can do a much better story of telling that himself. So Prakash, thank you for being here, my friend. But I guess my first kind of question is, one, obviously add anything to that introduction or company description that you want. But I always love talking to founders, co-founders on things like this, because I'm always curious about the origin story, right? How did Subskribe come about? Why did you start the company? Why did you decide to build a product in this space? What problems did you see out there?
Absolutely. Thank you, Matt, for having me. And I'll tell you that the main reason that why we started is because we did go through the pain point in our life before Subskribe. So I was at Okta before starting Subskribe. I was running their business technology. I was the first person at Okta to take care about the system and all. And I joined Okta when Okta was not a public company. So it was a small company making somewhere between 50 to 100 million ARR. And during that time, Okta had a vision to go public and become a IP or go through the IPO. And one of the major concern, or I would say the critical process that the CFO cares a lot during the IPO journey is the code to cash or the code to revenue process. And during my 4.5-year tenure at Okta, Okta grew from less than 100 million ARR to $1 billion ARR. And during that hyper growth, the one place or one area where we struggled the most was the code to cash process or code to revenue process. Every year we were either doing a major project, implementing something new, re-implementing the existing system, spending millions and millions of dollars. So we thought that's my personal experience. And then two of the other co-founders that we have at Subskribe, they both were at Zora, which is another company or the product in this code to revenue domain, or in fact, I would say the first product in the subscription billing space. So there are a lot of stories of Zora in the industry. So three of us had a lot of our own experience with respect to what the companies or the modern SaaS has to go through while they are growing from few $1 million to $100 million to an IPO to $1 billion. And what are the different systems they have to select, re-implement, struggle, do the customization. And we said, like, probably that this is the time to solve this problem a little bit differently. And that is where we started Subskribe. So I would say that, okay, it is very much our own experience, the pain point that we saw, and we say, like, we need to fix this. And that's how we started Subskribe.
I love that. So yeah, so you're basically, you kind of basically set out to build the product or solution that you wish you had when you were at Okta, and that, you know, plenty of other kind of folks wish they had as well. So I love that. So so you brought up, I guess, some of the problems, the pain points that you experienced, Prakash. But what are I guess the main reasons for, you know, any of the RevOps practitioners out there who are watching this? Like, what are the main things that you all solve for at Subskribe that they should care about? Like, what are those top pain points, those top things that would resonate the most with them?
Absolutely. And I'll go back to my story from Okta. Of course, I was part of the system or the technical person. I was not the main user. I was the team, the system or the technology team job is to enable the business folks, the RevOps people in the company. And through the CPQ, through the billing system, through the revenue recognition system, the other two are more on the finance side. but other RevOps on the go-to-market, the pain point that we have seen that they struggle, that if the sales ops or the deal desk, they become a quote creator. So the reps are coming to them because it's so hard to use a CPQ system that rather than the deal desk function is to go and help the sales rep to close the bigger deal, they are now becoming a quote creator. And all of these challenges becomes much severe when you think about a quarter end, where we all know the SaaS businesses close 80% of the deal in the last 2 weeks of the quarter. So during that time, now all the salespeople are looking to the deal desk or the RevOps or the sales of people to create the code for them. So what we want to do is we want to give the time back to the deal desk on the RevOps community to do the right things for which that function exists in any modern SaaS companies. Not to look at every deal that is going through the system, not to look at everything that they have to manually generate the order form or do the pricing calculation. Define the guardrails, define the controls. If a rep is selling within that control, you should not talk to me. You should just go and process this deal. If there is something which is going off track, then the deal list needs to review, get into the discussion, negotiation, and then work with the reps. But how to make the seller as a more sufficient and giving the time back to the RevOps community so that they can spend the time on the more critical thing where they can bring more value to the company. I would say that, okay, that is the main part from the revenue operation side. And from the billing or the finance side, similar thing, giving the time back to the order management or billing team, rather than they reconciling the data between these 5 different systems. Can they do the billing management or the invoice or the collection on time so that from the CFO perspective, can they close the book faster? Can they close quarter over quarter or month over month, probably 60 or 70% faster than what they are doing right now? So I would say that, okay, those are the 2 uber goal, both from a go-to-market RevOps community group or on the finance revenue side.
So saving time, freeing up time to ultimately do more mission critical type of activities for sure, and then enabling your sellers to operate more efficiently, more effectively, essentially deliver more value back to the company, because they're able to perform more selling related activities than they are, kind of administrative related activities. And maybe you can pop open some of the slides that you have, Prakash, to start walking us through the product. But I guess the other thing that I kind of heard you mention in kind of some of the things you brought up before was also I think of the number of tools that would typically be involved in the quote to cash or kind of quote to revenue type process, and the answer is certainly much more than one. And obviously, anytime you have kind of multiple solutions, then you now have to integrate those tools. That's more to manage. Things get lost. That means there's manual processes. So is that one of the kind of the problem areas, I guess, that a tool like Subskribe might be able to help with as well, is eliminate the need for multiple tools or solutions in one particular space and consolidate some of those things into one platform?
Absolutely. I mean, this is the problem is so much around various different spectrum. If you really see from what you are referring about, you are having some best of the breed or whatever the solution, but as a siloed application, it's doing a piece of the whole process. And now the internal IT team or the technology team responsibility to make sure that, okay, they work together with each other, build a custom integration. And that comes with a lot of maintenance effort. You need to have different people supporting different these tools. You may need to have a integration system or the middleware to connect these two systems or make the data transfer work between. All of these are costs to company. So streamlining process, giving the time back to the seller or the finance, of course, if you are giving time back to the seller, they are going to go and do more sell. They're going to bring more revenue to the company. But if your solution or the Subskribe mission is to save the operational cost also, you don't need multiple systems. You do not need these middleware. You do not need all these hidden costs, because it's not just the vendor, because there are a lot of these. You need to to support those integration, you need to have the IT team or the headcount cost also. So the value that Subskribe is bringing is, of course, giving the time back to the different folks so that they can do a more mission critical job, bringing the operational efficiency, which helps both from some of the processes wise, the book closing, as well as the saving the cost. And the other thing, since we are so focused on the SaaS businesses or the modern software businesses, our product is much more agile with respect to what do you need maybe now or in future. So how can we enable the company to try out different market, different pricing and packaging, and go and generate more revenue? So helping from all these different ways for the company to generate more revenue and save cost.
Yep. All right. So I've got, so here on the problems, if I'm a RevOps person with, who's working at, say a software subscription-based business, I've got, maybe, manual processes involved in my quote to cash process. I'm maybe configuring and sending out a bunch of quotes myself. Maybe I'm involved in every single kind of deal that makes its way out the door. I've got multiple tools, multiple systems in this area that I'm trying to manage and build integrations for and kind of keep glued together. So how does the Subscribe product differ from say some other existing tools, or I guess the starting point that I might have, right? If I'm in RevOps, and like I said, that's my kind of starting point, is I've either got some version of a CPQ tool or solution, or maybe a couple, right, that are helping me do this today, or maybe I've got nothing, right? I'm coming from just a pure, kind of manual quoting process on Google Docs, right? Is Subscribe going to be able to help me in both of those instances? And like I said, maybe pull up some of those slides and start talking through how the product can differentiate.
Can you see my slide with the product page?
Yeah.
Okay, yep. Great. So absolutely, we see this, or we'll hear about this. The two different use cases that you mentioned is very often. One is, I don't have any CPQ. I'm just running on a manual process or on an Excel sheet. And at that time, if you go and ask the companies, they may not have all the information that the quoting tool needs. Like, oh, I run the approval because I know the manager has to look into that. But within the system, you have to define your approval process. And that is where the agility or the flexibility come into the picture. And what we do, and there are some case study, which is on our website. I'll highly suggest that, okay, folks, to look into that. You will, how we help them that whatever information you have, let's just start using the CPQ so that you start getting into a mode of how to run this thing through the system, and then keep adding more and more maturity function, how you grow and how you understand more about the processes and how you want to put the control within the company. Because quote to cash is a very, as I said, like very mission critical to the company. The system itself is not going to help. You have to think about the processes on your side. As a CPQ system, I can't go and just say that, okay, who needs to approve? You have to tell me that 50% approval needs the VP or 50% discount needs the VP approval. So the way we want to do is, it's a super lightweight to go live. Literally for the new business, for the new logo, you can go live within a week time. Start using that. Bring your existing contract or existing subscription from your wherever the data it is to the Subscribe. Because exactly to your point, if a company does not have a quoting tool, likely they do not have a very clean space where they have all their active contract data. So then it takes time because the data is spread across various places. There are some on DocuSign, maybe some on the box, some of the PDFs. It takes time. You don't need all of those to do that. So we always suggest, let's go light, start using that, and then keep bringing more and more control and governance, how you grow with that. That also helps on just the sales adoption wise, because if you change somebody or you take out somebody's Excel sheet and put into a system, they won't like it. Excel is like the most flexible tool that we have in the current world. But then giving a lightweight adoption, I think that helps a lot. Now, if you have a CPQ system, then probably you have a lot of these things already in place. Then we go back and try to find out why it is not working today. And it could be the reason because, hey, we had the CPQ we implemented 3 years back. It was all good when we implemented 2 or 3 years back, but our business has become much more complex. We are growing fast. And now with the new requirement, the CPQ does not meet our needs. So then they look for more advanced feature. And there also Subscribe, we are built for the enterprise product. Something like ramp deal, your bundle product, your multi-level approver, your multiple different order form template or multiple currencies, different plan, different way you want to structure the product. All of those are supported out of the box. So I would say there are 2 different use cases, but we do have, it's the same product which works very good for both of them. And one of the customers that we replaced their existing CPQ in less than 90 days. And that customer is a big customer. They are making like close to 100 million ARR wise, and a lot of different currencies they are selling, different product line, and we were able to bring. Versus some of the other customer where we went the first time, it was much easier. We went live in 30 days with the new business and said, okay, let's keep bringing more and more function as the companies start getting more mature.
Yep. Yeah. So one of the big things I hear is just the flexibility in the solution seems to be one of the big differentiators, whether you're first getting started with the CPQ product for the first time, or you have an existing tool that maybe fit your needs when you first started using it several years ago, but obviously businesses change, hopefully grow, get larger, more complex. And with that, some of the other tools maybe in the market could struggle to keep up with that, with those changes to the business. But Subscribe, really is built for that flexibility and complexity.
Exactly. As you can see, we do so that we are built for the enterprise class capability. Our goal is once you move to Subscribe, you should not be looking to move away again, because that is the general perception. People think about, oh, I have to go and find another CPQ in every 3 years or 2 years. I have to find another billing system.
Yeah. Yep.
So just a little bit more deeper on the product side. If I just move to the another slide. So as I say, like we are fully unified platform. We run everything from the end to end for the quote to revenue process. That includes your quoting, your billing NAR, as well as the revenue recognition. And with that concept, we sit between your CRM and the ERP. And this slide gives a little bit more details about which application is doing what part. So your CRM is mainly doing your account lead opportunity management. As soon as the time comes that, okay, the seller feels that now they have to create a proposal for the customer or their prospect, they start using Subscribe. So Subscribe has the product catalog, all your quotes, approvals, subscription. You can do the amendment, renewal, order form generation. All of those are happening as part of the Subscribe CPQ. Once the deal is closed, the same code, because it's a unified system, we are not copying the data from one system to other. It is the same order object which generated the order form, now generating the invoice. So that is where I was referring. No need of any data reconciliation. 100% time, the number will match what was done on the sales versus what is being generated on the invoice. So all your billing, AR, payment collection, we do the credit card, ACH, wire, your dunning management, all of those are happening within the Subscribe billing. And then the third part, which is the revenue recognition. So we do revenue recognition as per the 606, all the disclosure, you deferred revenue, your all the reports around your RPO, remaining performance obligation, all of those reports will be generated by Subscribe revenue recognition. So we become like a sub ledger. And our integration with the ERP is mainly just the journal entry at the end of the month or whenever, however the frequency you want to push it. So the integration becomes a lot lighter. We do have out-of-the-box integration, pre-built integration with some of the major CRM in the market, as well as the major ERPs. And you don't have to think about, because the journal entry or the account and opportunity, those are very standard object. And you use ERP as your financial management and all other reports that you have to do for the balance sheet and account management. But any other report, your ARR, your TCV, your revenue waterfall, your cash, everything is being managed within Subscribe.
Yeah. And so before, I guess I'm curious to see what some of the stuff looks like, and maybe we can start with quoting. But you brought up the integration, so I'll ask that question right now. So on the CRM side, what are the existing CRM integrations that you support? And then same question on the ERP side, at least out of the box that you mentioned.
So we do support both Salesforce and the HubSpot. Those are the most common one that we hear.
Yep.
And on the ERP side, NetSuite is the most common one. Most of our customers use that. So we do have that, as well as the QuickBook Online or the QuickBook. Okay. We are working with some of the new other one that we keep hearing about, the Xero as well as the Sage.
Yep. Great. So well, I'm curious to kind of see what this looks like then. So maybe we can start on the, I don't know if we want to start with the quoting side, Prakash, but yeah, let's take a look and see what that looks like. Maybe start walking us through a particular use case that you have.
Absolutely. So I'll start with as part of the CPQ, the product catalog is the one of the most important part. So this is Subscribe, built on the AWS. It does give us a lot more flexibility with respect to what technology we can use, and a lot of advanced technology to make sure that our goal about the enterprise class, while keeping the user experience really, really delightful, that we get it. So all of these objects are pretty common objects. Account is list of all your customer. Order is, we call quote as an order. We don't have a quote. So it's the order which goes through its life cycle, and I will go through that. The rep creates the draft order, get it through the approval, get it signed. And then once it gets executed, it is ready for the invoicing, billing, and all. Subscription is your subscription with the customer. Here you do the subscription management. You can go and do the amendment, renewal, upsell, whatever you want to do, you do it from there. And it's always a consolidated view, so that anytime anybody wants to see that, okay, what exactly the customer has, they can go to the subscription. Invoice, about all the invoice, payment, credit memo, all of those details are there. Accounting, because as I said, like we are a subledger. So we have the full-fledged accounting period where you can close the book, you can open it, reopen it. You see the AR roll forward, DR roll forward, or deferred revenue roll forward. All those reports are at the accounting period level. Revenue recognition, as I said, like RevRec is one of the major feature from the Subscribe side. We do support 606. We do support all the different type of revenue recognition amortization based on the event-based, or it's a point-based, or you are just amortizing across the service period. We do have a very flexible reporting, but we are also launching an advanced reporting, which I'll show you the advanced analytics, which is coming up. And the product is where I will show some more detail here. So I have a product here called Marketing Automation. It has two plans, a marketing automation SMB and an enterprise plan. Let's see, just to show that, okay, how it looked like. So if I go and say there is a marketing operation pro plan also, we do support all these different currencies. So you can, let's say it's a USD I'm trying to create. And now you can open this and start creating the charge. And we do support everything with respect to the one-time, percentage off, prepaid, recurring, as well as the pure consumption based. All of these are probably, this covers, I have not heard of even a single charge type which is a software business is using today and we are not covering. In fact, some of these, the percentage off is only the enterprise class or the enterprise companies which are using. Like generally the small company does not. So that is where we come. It may not be a need today, but when the need comes, it is already out of the box. You can also go and define the charge model as a block price or flat fee or per unit, tiered, volume discount, however you want to do it. You can create the table with respect to the volume discount. You can, once you add this, you can have the unit of measure per user per month. It's a custom list, whatever is valid for your business, you can define. We already connect to Avalara for the sales tax. So you can assign a tax code. And here also you assign the revenue recognition rule. So RevRec rule you define under the revenue recognition tab, and those are available here to be selected. So this is the place where you see the quoting, billing, and revenue all coming together. You are defining your pricing information, you're defining your tax rate, you are also defining your rev rec rule. So this is about the product. I already have some product built here. I will go to the order creation wise. So this is the order creation, and I go and choose an account Aviato. It does connect with the Salesforce. So it reads all the opportunity which are open. So I do have, if I go to the Salesforce, there is a demo opportunity which I have opened here. So if I go to the new order and type demo opportunity here, I choose the bill to, ship to, start date, let's say today's date. I can make it as a 3-year deal. And I can say marketing automation, marketing enterprise. And you can choose the quantity about however the licenses you want. So you can say the 100 licenses. Some of the, again, complex deal wise, you can make it as a ramp. It creates the annual ramp, and you can go and say, I want to ramp this product. I want to start with the 100, go to the 125 for the next year, 175 for the third year. You can give different discounts. So I can, for the second year, I can give you 8% discount. So you can change with the quantity, play around with the number, the dollar value. All of these are super flexible to achieve. We do support all these billing type: monthly, quarterly, annual, semi-annual, paid in full. So let's say keep it as an annual. To show that how the discount work, I will go and make it as a net 90 because I do have an approval process on the net 90 as a payment term. A lot of template, which are all out of the box. We do have 7 or 8 different type of order form template, which you can use out of the box. But if you want to customize it, we always there, you can fully customize however you want. These are the different terms and conditions which you can select. What do you want to offer with the customer? And now I can go and save it as a draft. You will see we are able to show the preview of the approval, what is needed. We are able to show all the metrics. So now you can see that I do have the metrics also showing up here. What is my entry ARR? What is my exit ARR? What is my average ARR? All of these numbers, I can go and look at the approval, and it says that since you have done the net 90, the finance manager has to approve. At any point of time, I can go and download the order form. So let's say if I can do the order form.
And is the account executive the one who would be in Subscribe, kind of going through the stuff that you were just doing here?
Yes. So all the things what I did is the rep creating a code. And you can see that, okay, and we do bring the data from the Salesforce. So your account, your opportunity, your contacts, all are available from Salesforce to be, or your CRM. We do write back this information back to the CRM also on the opportunity, so that if you're running any report, you have that access.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, because like anytime especially you start to see multi-year deals or different ARR amounts for different years of the deal, or total contract value versus annual contract value, then you start to get into all these questions like, well, what goes on the opportunity? Where does it go? How does it get back there? And so it sounds like you all will write this information back to the CRM to keep all that stuff in line.
Yep, and I will show you how exactly. So I'm submitting approval. I'm the admin, so I'm able to approve it here. If you are whoever is the approver, we also send the email so that you can just approve or decline from the email. So let's see if I'm approving it. And while I'm doing all of these in the Subscribe, the data is getting synced to the Salesforce. So if I go to the Salesforce now, refresh this opportunity, which I tag to that order, you can see on the opportunity, we do have this Subscribe object, which has all the details about what is my ARR, TCV, and all. As you mentioned, it's a multi-year deal with the ramp, and then ARR is changing. So we also have the ARR trend. So this is the subscription line. So you can see the line level details also, that for each line, what exactly is the details, how much we are giving the discount, how much is the ARR for these. And you also have the Subscribe ARR trend, which we show like, okay, how exactly let me just refresh the page. You will see the ARR trend report also. So here is the ARR trend. because it's a 3-year deal with the ramp up. That's why it has the ARR trend. And if you open the object, it will talk about you like the date and what is the ARR. But if it is a 3-year flat deal, you will just see one line.
Yeah.
So everything with respect to the line level as well as the full transaction level is being synced from Subscribe to Salesforce. So now when it is approved, you can download the order form as a PDF, as a doc, and now I go and you can run the DocuSign also. We do integrate with the DocuSign. So you can say who is the signature from the customer, who is the signature from your company, and you can run the e-signature directly from here.
Yeah.
And once all the paperwork is signed and all, you do the execution, which is the final stage for the order process, like the deal closer. And this order gets converted into the subscription, which has again the same detail, your entry ARR, your exit ARR, all these average, everything. Now from here, talking about the more on the finance side, you can generate the invoice. You can just click on this. And here is the beauty. It's the same order which generated the order form where it says all these numbers, as well as the same order is now generating the invoice. So when you do a midterm change where you have to prorate the amount for the, say, 6 months and 17 days, the number will be exactly what you are seeing in the order form and the invoice. But if you have a separate CPQ and a billing system, now the team spends a lot of time to reconcile the number.
Oh
because
yeah, I've done that myself before where yeah, like my experience was mostly on the starting with no CPQ solution. So we just had, like Stripe and manual quotes that we were sending out and manual DocuSigns that were getting sent. And yeah, having to reconcile all of that information, or even, like something that would get signed, the end of the end of the month, making sure that, the subscription and Stripe got created on the same day so that, the dates were all aligned. And then don't even get me started on the rev rec stuff and the impacts of all of that. So yeah, like having that all in one system, and actually just having it sync back to the CRM and everything too, just eliminates so much of the manual process and kind of the back and forth that is otherwise there.
Yep. One of our customers, they look at they have an approval process where the finance person just look it before the deal closer, and post that invoice generation, invoice posting, sending it to customer is fully automated. They say like, I have already reviewed the document while it was being the order form being signed. Now I don't want to see, because or else there is still reviewing, but then since the data is moving again from the existing system CPQ to your billing system, they have to relook at the number. But here it is fully automated. So this is the invoice. You can go, you can post it, email it. Coming back to the subscription, you can go and do the amendment, you can do the renewal, you can do the cancellation. All of these subscription management right here. Even if it is a multi-year ramp deal, the amendment is absolutely seamless. And everything goes through the process. You can define various approval workflow here based on the custom term, discount, ARR, a lot more flexibility. You can really build a very custom rules without writing any code, just the configuration wise. Some of the other things I'll go is the report. So we do have all of these reports available out of the box, like the prepaid, invoice detail, credit memos, refund, billing or booking numbers, your active subscription, your subscription detail, the payments report, AR aging, invoice by AR momentum report. So a lot of these reports are available out of the box, but we are also launching a new our advanced analytics where you have a lot more other flexibility on the other part of the reports, and mainly on the like the revenue side. So jumping into the revenue recognition, you can see I'm on the rev rec mode. You can define the different rules. You can see all these details about like, okay, recognize the revenue and download the waterfall. Percentage complete, if you have any of your professional service, which goes through the percentage complete, and then based on that, you recognize the revenue, you can upload the data at the end of the month, end of the quarter, whenever you want to recognize the revenue, and then run the process. So everything with respect to the revenue recognition, 606 compliant. We look at the contract based, and you can define different revenue recognition rule apply that on the product, and as and when there is a transaction, we recognize the revenue. We also have the accounting period side. You have all these accounting period, which you can close it, open in progress. You can see all of the chart of account. And if I go and look at this closed one, you see a lot of like the journal entry. So you can generate the preview of the journal entry. You can, and that is what, before you push it to the ERP, if you just want to look at the overall journal entry, you can always look into that. But it doesn't need to be. As part of the close process, we can just push it automatically to your ERP system. Absolutely seamless. That's all I have for now.
That's no, that's great. So I guess so a couple of I'll say like thoughts, observations, and then some questions. So one, like I said, I can see before, you might have a separate billing tool, you might have a separate subscription management tool, you might have a separate tool for quoting and proposals, you might manually get that into DocuSign to send it out for signature. And then you've got a bunch of accountants and finance folks in the middle there trying to, tie it all back to close the books at the end of the month. So seems like having everything in just one consolidated platform just simplifies a lot of that, eliminates a lot of the complexity. And so you mentioned, I guess, some of the integrations already on the CRM side. So Salesforce, HubSpot integrations. Sounds like Subscribe will it's bidirectional sync, right? So you'll write data back to the CRM. Same on the ERP side. Sounds like the most common integration there is with NetSuite. We talked about it a little up front, but sounds like regardless of in terms of customers or maybe companies that are good fits for a solution like this, obviously SaaS or subscription-based business is the first sort of criteria, but it sounds like you can really help folks that are just starting or just needing to get started with maybe their first CPQ solution, because maybe they just need to graduate from some of those manual processes. Or if you're kind of up at the enterprise level already and you've got a CPQ solution already that's just not working, maybe because you adopted it 3 years ago and now your business has dramatically changed. It sounds like the Subscribe product can truly fit either of those use cases and then anything in between. Is that fair, Prakash?
Absolutely. We feel that as soon as you probably have more than 5 or 7 sellers selling your product, you want to have some governance and control. An Excel sheet and manual process does not give you. But at the same time, you do not want a very heavy process, a heavy tool, a heavy implementation also. Some of the CPQ in the market it comes with a heavy implementation cost. And that is where the companies like, oh, I don't need that because I don't have money to spend all of these like 6-month long project with a like a lot of dollar to spend on. So for that company, absolutely, you can go easily live in a week time, super simple to use the process, define whatever control you are looking for, not like whole thing, and you can still ready to use. But at the same time, if your process is a lot more heavier, you are doing the ramp deal, you are doing the consumption base, you have the percentage of charge, you have different template because you are selling in the different currency, different geography. All of those are also absolutely supported out of the box from the Subscribe, in the Subscribe.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I have a slide, I'll just show it, but it's more like what makes us different. And I would say the very first one is like the go live time, the implementation time, because that is one of the major pain point. I would say that a lot of people say, oh, I don't want a CPQ or billing system because it's just so heavy and really, really fast. And this is, we are able to achieve because our focus is on the SaaS software businesses. So everything is out of the box. Second is you'll never have to switch to another system. Be it you are making 10 million or 100 million or even $500 million. Once you move to the Subscribe, we are built for the enterprise grade. Your business becomes 10x more complex. You grow as a 10x in the revenue. Your team grows up. All of those scale thing has been considered when the Subscribe is designed. Easily structure the deals. You saw I was able to create a ramp deal. We say that you should be able to create a multi-plan, multi-year ramp deal with a different discount, different license count and all within 30 seconds. And these things help companies to generate more revenue, because the ramp is always you are getting more commitment. I have spoken to many companies where they say like, we know that, okay, ramp is really good for the company, but it comes with so much of heavy back office process. And that's why we don't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So we
Yep.
want to say that, it should be, you don't need to be an expert for that. A lot of the CPQ or the billing system in the market, you really have to be a certified expert or consultant with that product. And we are saying that, you don't have to be. If you're just a system admin, you should be able to take care of the Subskribe. And that is where we save the cost for the company. The reconciliation, you don't have to reconcile. As you mentioned, it's just one platform. There is no second object that you have to reconcile with. It's just one platform.
Mm-hmm.
And unnecessary costs, both with respect to the integration, duplication of the catalog, the reconciliation, the workaround, the custom thing you have to build. That is all a hidden cost, which is outside the vendor cost or the what you are paying to the system. We do save that. And single source of truth is, you are from a go-to-market team, or you are from a finance or the customer support or the FP&A, everybody is looking at the one source of truth to find out what is my ARR, what is my ACV, how much looking like my invoice coming, or the renewal, and all other things.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, these are the major point where we bring value to the companies.
Yeah, that's great. And so so it sounds like I don't necessarily need to be a technical wizard or understand like you said, be a certified like product person to be able to use the Subscribe tool. Sounds like easy to kind of get started with, call it, no code sort of, ability to connect, integrate with tools, get all those things set up, which is great. And then it sounds like pretty easy to get started if I'm new to, like, if this is my first CPQ tool or process. You mentioned the ability to essentially have something live in like 7 days, in a week.
Yeah,
What if
absolutely.
what if I'm more complex than that? What does a implementation kind of look like, or what might I expect if I'm got a whole bunch of stuff that is already running through maybe an existing CPQ tool, and we need to migrate from that over to something like Subscribe?
Yep. So our goal as a company is, we don't want our implementation to become a major source of revenue. We want to bring the value to the customer as fast as we can. So we run our implementation in-house. The actual setup of the Subscribe with your approval, with your product catalog, and all of those other settings are pretty easy. It can be done in like literally within few days. The time where it takes the most is when we have to migrate the data. And we have all the tooling on our side to inject the data as a CSV. It takes like 5 minutes to load like thousands of contracts. Where we see that, okay, a lot of challenge is, and for everyone whoever is thinking about the CPQ, do you have the clean data that you can give it to the vendor? Because if you are not able to give me who all are the customer and what they have today, then we as a vendor, we don't know that, okay, we can't make a call on behalf of you. So that is where we take the time. If you have a clean data in one of these major systems, which we already connect on that, super simple, within a month time. And it is more like, we bring the data, we run our own reporting, your ARR, TCV report, and whatever your existing report, let's match at the top level. If there is anything missing or anything, then we go through the testing, UAT, verification, and all. So a lot of time we spend is on the reporting validation, because this is a critical report. It's a financial report. We want to make sure that, okay, your ARR should not change from 100 million to 120 or 90 after going live with the Subscribe. It should be matching to. Or if there is a difference, then we do audit and we find that, okay, probably what the number Subscribe is giving is the right number. And that has happened. We looked into that and we said, like, okay, this is your booking and this is your billing, but it doesn't match when I look at your report, but Subscribe is giving different. And they find that, oh, there was a miss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
and do you find for customers that are in that scenario where they have a lot of data to migrate, do they start running new deals and like new quotes and things through Subscribe before data migration? Like, is there any reason why those things need to necessarily be tied together, or what do you see most folks do there?
So this is the perception that we have to migrate everything before we can start using, and that is what we are trying to change. I do understand, because if you just to start with the new business, then you have existing one where you are running your ARR and then the new business ARR. So for certain period of time, you have to look at from a reporting side that, okay, what
Yeah,
is my total ARR? Then you are looking at the two report. But our goal is, yes, you start with the new business or start with the renewal, which are upcoming in a 30,
yeah,
60 days. And then from there, you keep bringing most all the data and then have the system up and running in a quarter time.
yeah, yeah. That makes a lot of sense. And then last kind of or second last question, I guess, for you here is about just around like ROI and anything you can share in terms of pricing. It sounds like what I heard you say before on the implementation side was maybe that you don't charge a separate implementation fee. I guess that was one question. And then otherwise, how do you price? What does pricing look like to the extent that you can share anything there? And if you have case studies or any kind of anything on ROI that you can share as well, I'm curious to know about those things.
Yeah. So there is a case study on our website from one of our customer, Big ID, and they were using a CPQ, a much more mature system from last 3 years, but it was not working, and they had to find a dedicated headcount to just manage that, and that is a cost. And we went live with them in less than 90 days, and they cut their operational cost by 90%. That's a
Mm,
huge number. Like even if you the whole operational cost that they saved is much larger than how much they are paying for Subscribe. So it's just not like the cost of it, it's like a lot more. And if you look at
yeah.
year over year, that number is a much bigger number. So from that
Hmm.
perspective, we bring a lot of like the ROI is all about, and that is just from a dollar value, like the operational cost wise, but all other things, which is like the domino effect of like the seller spending more time on the selling, finance is able to close the book, you are able to go faster in front of your investor or the board with your numbers. Those things have a much bigger impact to the company. And it you can only measure once you run for the longer time. And sometimes it is hard to measure that also. But the immediate one, which is very clear, is just the operational cost. And a lot of details are there on the website. Regarding the implementation cost, what I was trying to refer it, if you about the setting and all, we do all of these. If you have a lot of data which is not very clean and all, then people ask us to help. That okay, can you help us to read the data and help on the auditing and all those things? Then of course we spend time and we spend our energy, our resources. Like we literally put our engineering team also to help them to understand that okay, how should they read the data? Because it is all
Hmm.
about, we're not in a business that we sold you once and then we say like, okay, you are now customer for now 2, 3, 5 years. We really want you to validate or bring the value or realize the value from the product. So we charge the implementation cost wherever the data size is used, and then we have to spend time more and more. But if it is a plain and simple, we just have to do it. We can do it super quickly.
Yeah. And then last question is if anyone watching this wants to learn more about Subscribe, get a demo of the product, actually like use the tool, I guess how do they either get in touch with you? Is there any sort of like free trial or product tour available on the website? Where would folks go to book a demo with a person on your team? How do they get in touch if they need to?
Yeah. So go to our website. A lot of very amazing contents are published there. We write a lot about these area, the CPQ, the billing, the RevRec, the whole code to revenue side. You can directly find a time directly from our website. You can schedule a demo. You can always reach out to me. My name is Prakash, or my email is just prakash@subscribe.com. So happy to see any email if you want to. But yeah, reach out through our website, our LinkedIn page, or you can just see a lot of other content which we have published, or amazing content that we have published on our website.
That's great. Well, Prakash, thank you, my friend, for walking us kind of through the product. Very, very impressed. That was the first time that I was seeing it. I've heard a lot of good things about it, but can truly resonates with a lot of the stuff that I used to deal with when I was on the RevOps side. So very excited by what you're building and the value that it's delivering to the broader RevOps community. So thank you again for taking the time to walk us through that. And hopefully some folks out there watching this will definitely get in touch and kind of learn more about the tool themselves. But with that, I will let you go, my friend. For everyone watching this, thank you very much as well. And make sure you tune in to our next episode and our other episodes of RevOps Demos That Don't Suck as well. So thank you all. Take care.
Thank you very much, Matt. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.